Liliana's heart pounded like a war drum as she burst through the smoke-choked doorway, flames licking at her heels. "Mom! Dad! Where are you?" she screamed, her voice raw against the roar of the inferno. The heat clawed at her skin, but the thought of losing them propelled her deeper into the hellish blaze, only to emerge a hero in the headlines, but a villain in their eyes when the truth about her and Arabella came out. In that split second before the fire department arrived, Liliana had made her choice. Family first, always. She wrapped her jacket around her face, coughing violently as she navigated the hallway she knew like the back of her hand. The old Victorian house in suburban Chicago was collapsing around her, beams groaning under the assault of flames that had started from a faulty kitchen wiring, ironic, since her father had always prided himself on being the handyman. She found her mother first, slumped in the living room, overcome by smoke. "Come on, Mom, we've got to go," Liliana urged, hauling the frail woman over her shoulder with strength she didn't know she possessed. Her mind raced. What if Dad's still upstairs? What if I don't make it? But doubt was a luxury she couldn't afford. Dragging her mother out to the lawn, Liliana gulped fresh air, then plunged back in without hesitation. Neighbors were gathering, sirens wailing in the distance, but time was her enemy. Up the stairs she went, each step a battle against the suffocating heat. "Dad!" she called, her throat burning. He was in the bedroom trying to salvage family photos, stubborn as ever. "Leave them. We have to get out." She grabbed his arm, pulling him toward the exit as a section of the ceiling caved in behind them. They stumbled out just as the firefighters pulled up, hoses unleashing torrents of water. Paramedics swarmed, praising her bravery, but inside, Liliana felt a hollow victory. Why did I risk everything? She wondered, staring at the smoldering ruins. For them. For the family that raised me, even if they've never truly seen me. The hospital waiting room was a sterile limbo, fluorescent lights buzzing overhead like accusatory whispers. Liliana paced, her singed clothes reeking of smoke, while doctors updated her on her parents' conditions. Smoke inhalation, minor burns, but they'd survive. Relief washed over her, mingled with exhaustion. That's when Arabella arrived, her face pale with worry, rushing into Liliana's arms. "Oh God, Lily, I saw the news. Are you okay?" Arabella's voice was a soothing balm, but Liliana pulled back slightly, glancing around. Not here, not now. Their relationship had been a secret for 2 years, hidden from Liliana's conservative Catholic family. Arabella understood the fear of rejection, the weight of expectations. But in that moment of vulnerability, Liliana needed her more than ever. When her parents were stable enough for visitors, Liliana entered the room alone first. Her mother, Evelyn, looked fragile in the hospital bed, oxygen mask fogging with each breath. "You saved us, sweetheart," she whispered, tears in her eyes. Her father, Marcus, nodded gruffly, his pride evident despite the pain. "You're a hero, kid." But Liliana's chest tightened. Hero. If only they knew. The words bubbled up unbidden, fueled by the adrenaline crash and the near loss. "Mom, Dad, there's something I need to tell you. About me. And why I've been distant." She hesitated, but the dam broke. "I'm in love with a woman. Her name is Arabella. We've been together for years." The room fell silent save for the beeping monitors. Evelyn's face crumpled, her hand withdrawing from Liliana's. "What are you saying? This can't be true." Marcus's expression hardened, his voice low and thunderous. "After everything? You pull this now? In a hospital?" Liliana's heart shattered. "I thought saving them would make them see me, truly see me." But the confession hung like smoke, choking the air. They demanded she leave, their rejection a deeper burn than any flame. As she walked out, Arabella waited in the hall, her eyes questioning. "What happened?" Liliana shook her head, tears streaming. "How do I explain that my heroism bought me nothing but exile?" The days blurred into a nightmare of media frenzy and personal hell. Local news dubbed her the fiery heroine, interviewing neighbors who sang her praises. But at home, or what was left of it, now a charred skeleton, her family's silence was deafening. They moved into a temporary apartment funded by insurance, but Liliana wasn't welcome. "We need time," her mother said over the phone, her voice laced with disappointment. "Time for what? To pray away my truth?" Liliana thought bitterly, crashing on Arabella's couch in her cozy Wrigleyville apartment. Arabella, a graphic designer with a flair for turning chaos into art, tried to comfort her. "They'll come around, Lily. Give them space." But space felt like abandonment. Liliana, a 28-year-old social worker specializing in family counseling, irony at its finest, found herself unraveling. At work, colleagues clapped her on the back for her bravery, but she felt like a fraud. "How can I help others mend their families when mine is in ashes?" Nights were the worst, lying beside Arabella, their fingers intertwined, yet her mind replaying the rejection. Arabella whispered assurances, her touch a reminder of why she'd chosen this path. "I love you no matter what," she'd say, but Liliana wondered if love was worth the cost. Her phone buzzed with texts from extended family. Aunts, uncles, cousins, all echoing the same sentiment. "How could you do this to your parents after what happened?" One evening, the tension boiled over. Arabella had cooked dinner, candlelight flickering as if to mimic the fire that started it all. "Talk to me, Lily. You're shutting me out." Liliana snapped. "Shutting you out? My whole life is imploding because of us." The word stung, and Arabella's eyes welled up. "Is that how you see it? Because of us?" They argued, voices rising, accusations flying. Liliana accused Arabella of not understanding the cultural weight. Her own family, liberal New Yorkers, had embraced them. Arabella shot back that Liliana was letting fear win. In the heat, Liliana stormed out, wandering the chilly Chicago streets, questioning everything. Was coming out a mistake? Did I betray them by saving them only to break their hearts? Returning home hours later, Liliana found Arabella asleep on the couch, tear-streaked face illuminated by the TV's glow. Guilt gnawed at her. "She's the one good thing in this mess, and I'm pushing her away." Sliding beside her, Liliana whispered apologies, their reconciliation a quiet promise to face the storm together. But the external pressures mounted. At work, a client, a young gay teen struggling with parental rejection, mirrored her pain too closely. "They say I'm choosing this to hurt them," the boy confided. Liliana's advice felt hypocritical. "Your truth isn't a choice, it's who you are." Yet in her own life doubt crept in. What if they're right? What if I could have stayed silent, kept the peace? Her family's radio silence ended abruptly with a summons to a family meeting at her aunt's house in the suburbs. Liliana arrived alone, nerves frayed, hoping for reconciliation. The room was packed. Parents, siblings, even a priest from their church. Ambush. Her father spoke first, his voice steady but cold. "We've prayed about this, Liliana. This lifestyle isn't compatible with our values. We love you, but we can't condone it." Her mother added, sobbing, "Think of what you're doing to us. After the fire, we thought God spared us for a reason." The priest chimed in with scripture, labeling her love a sin. Liliana's blood boiled. "This isn't a lifestyle, it's my life. I saved you from that fire. Does that mean nothing?" Arguments erupted, voices overlapping in a cacophony of hurt. Her younger brother, Tomas, whom she'd always protected, sided with them. "You're tearing us apart, sis. Just try to change." Change? The word echoed in her mind like a betrayal. She left in tears, the door slamming behind her. Driving back, she pulled over, sobbing. "Why fight for a family that won't fight for me?" Arabella was waiting, arms open, but the seed of resentment grew. "They want me to choose," Liliana confessed. Arabella's face fell. "And what if you do?" The question hung unanswered, poisoning the air. Social ripples extended beyond family. Friends from her tight-knit community began distancing themselves. A childhood best friend, Maria, called to express concern. "Lil, I support you, but my kids. I don't want them confused." Confused? Liliana thought, rage simmering. "I'm not a disease." At a support group for LGBTQ+ individuals, she found solace, sharing her story amid nods of understanding. But even there, doubts lingered. One woman advised cutting ties. Another urged persistence. Which path is right? The moral quandary tore at her. Loyalty to blood versus authenticity. Arabella faced her own pressures. Her boss, noticing her distraction, pulled her aside. "Everything okay at home?" Arabella hesitated, then opened up about the fire and fallout. Sympathy followed. But so did subtle judgments from colleagues. Family comes first, one said. Arabella defended Liliana fiercely, but internally she questioned. Am I worth this pain? Their relationship, once a haven, now felt like a battlefield. A late-night conversation turned raw. Maybe we should take a break, Arabella suggested, voice breaking. Liliana recoiled. Is that what you want? No, but the hurt was mutual. They clung to each other, but cracks formed. The turning point came at a community event. A fundraiser for fire victims, ironically featuring Liliana as a guest of honor. She stood on stage, microphone in hand, the crowd applauding her heroism. But as she spoke, her voice cracked. Bravery isn't just running into flames, it's facing who you are, even when it burns. The audience murmured, some supportive, others whispering. Her family was there. Uninvited, their faces stony. Afterward, her father approached. That was quite the speech. But actions have consequences. He handed her an ultimatum. End things with Arabella or be cut off financially and emotionally. Liliana's world spun. Choose love or legacy. The drive home was silent, her mind a whirlwind of what-ifs. Arabella sensed the shift immediately upon Liliana's return. What did they say? She asked, dread in her eyes. Liliana relayed the ultimatum, collapsing into sobs. They want me to deny us, Bella. Like we never happened. Arabella held her, but her own fears surfaced. And what do you want? The question pierced Liliana's core. I want both. Why is that impossible? They talked through the night, weighing options. Therapy. Mediation. But deep down, Liliana knew the divide was chasmal. Society's whispers amplified the internal war. News articles on family values. Church sermons on morality. Even casual conversations laced with bias. Betrayal struck from an unexpected quarter. Tomas, her brother, leaked details of their family drama to a local gossip blog, framing Liliana as the selfish one who abandoned them post-fire. Comments flooded in. Ungrateful. Attention seeker. Liliana read them obsessively, each word a dagger. Why, Tomas? We were close. Confronting him via phone, he admitted. I thought it'd pressure you to come back. Pressure? It's destruction. The sibling bond, once unbreakable, frayed beyond repair. Arabella urged her to block him, but Liliana couldn't. Hope lingered, toxic as it was. Work became a minefield. A conservative client complained about Liliana's public lifestyle, demanding reassignment. Her boss, sympathetic but pragmatic, suggested a leave. Take time to sort this. Sort what? My identity. The demotion felt like another loss. Arabella's career suffered too. A big client pulled out after hearing rumors. We prefer aligned values, they said. Aligned with what, bigotry? The couple's finances strained, forcing tough choices. Sell the car? Dip into savings? Each decision amplified the cost of their love. In a moment of desperation, Liliana considered the unthinkable, faking a breakup to appease her family. Just temporarily, she proposed to Arabella, who stared in disbelief. Temporarily? That's lying to everyone, including ourselves. The argument escalated, accusations of cowardice and selfishness flying. Arabella stormed out this time, leaving Liliana alone with her regrets. Is this the price, losing her too? Hours later, Arabella returned, resolute. I won't be your secret anymore. If we do this, we do it openly. Their reconciliation was passionate, a reaffirmation, but shadowed by uncertainty. Society's pressure culminated at a protest rally against anti-LGBTQ+ legislation in Illinois. Liliana attended with Arabella, signs in hand, chanting for equality. But counter-protesters hurled slurs, one recognizing her from the news. Hero? More like sinner. A scuffle ensued, police intervening. In the chaos, Liliana twisted her ankle. But the real injury was emotional. Why fight when the world pushes back harder? Media spun it as fiery heroine sparks controversy, further alienating her family. Evelyn called, pleading. Stop this madness. Come home. Home. Where judgment awaits. The moral dilemmas piled up. Liliana volunteered at a shelter for queer youth, seeing mirrored stories, disowned kids, suicidal thoughts. One girl, 17, shared. I chose family, denied myself. Now I'm empty. Empty. That's how Liliana felt, teetering on the edge. Arabella, sensing her wavering, planned a getaway to Michigan's lakes, hoping distance would clarify. But even there, intrusive thoughts invaded. What if I repent? Could I rebuild with them? The vacation turned tense, small disagreements magnifying underlying fears. Back in Chicago, the climax loomed. Liliana's father suffered a minor heart scare. Stress-induced, doctors said. Blame fell on her. Your choices are killing him, her mother accused via voicemail. Guilt consumed Liliana. Am I responsible? She visited the hospital covertly, peering through the door. Marcus looked frail, Evelyn by his side. Turning away, she bumped into Tomas. You shouldn't be here, he sneered. Why? Because I'm honest. Their confrontation drew stares. Honest? You're destroying us, Tomas yelled. Liliana retorted. No, your hate is. Walking away, she felt a twisted liberation. Speaking truth, even if it severed ties. Arabella waited at home, anxious. How was it? Liliana broke down. They're blaming me for everything. Comfort turned to strategy. We need allies. They reached out to Arabella's family, who offered support, even financial aid. But accepting it felt like defeat, replacing one family with another. Internal conflict raged. Loyalty demands sacrifice, but whose? A therapy session helped unpack it. You're not choosing between love and family. They're forcing the choice, the counselor said. Yet doubt persisted. What if I walk away forever? Betrayal deepened when Maria, the friend, outed their location to paparazzi-like locals, leading to harassment. Notes on the door. Repent or leave. Arabella's fear turned to anger. We can't live like this. They considered moving, but Chicago was home, roots versus safety. Liliana's work offered a transfer to New York, near Arabella's kin. It's a fresh start, Arabella urged. But Liliana hesitated. Running away? Or smart survival? The decision weighed heavy, each option laced with loss. A pivotal confrontation unfolded at a family dinner. Liliana crashed, uninvited. We need to talk, she declared, facing the clan. Accusations flew. Selfish. Ungodly. She countered with stories from her work, the real harm of rejection. Kids die because of this hate. Silence fell, then her mother whispered, I don't want to lose you. But Marcus interjected. Then choose right. Liliana stood firm. I already have. Leaving, she felt empowered, yet heartbroken. Was that the end? Arabella proposed next. Marry me, Lily. Show the world we're unbreakable. The ring, simple and sincere, sparked joy amid chaos. But doubt crept. With family against us? Planning in secret, they envisioned a small ceremony. Yet leaks happened. Tomas again? Threats ensued, forcing cancellation. Damage control strained them. Maybe it's a sign, Liliana mused. Arabella snapped. A sign to fight harder. Their bond tested, they emerged stronger but scarred. Awakening came gradually. Liliana wrote an op-ed for a local paper. From flames to freedom. My truth. It went viral, drawing support and backlash. Strangers shared stories validating her pain. Her family read it. Evelyn reached out tentatively. I miss you. Progress? Or trap? Liliana responded cautiously, boundaries set. Moral gray areas blurred. Forgiveness versus self-preservation? The op-ed's ripple effects were profound. Support groups invited Liliana to speak, her story inspiring others. But home invasions of privacy continued. Anonymous calls, online trolls. Arabella's patience waned. How much more can we take? A heated debate. If you want out, say it, Liliana challenged. Arabella confessed. I'm scared we'll break. Vulnerability bridged them, leading to renewed commitment. They relocated temporarily to a friend's place, regrouping. Family fractures showed cracks of potential healing. Tomas apologized via email. I was wrong. Scared. Liliana met him secretly, forgiveness tentative. Why now? She asked. Seeing you stand up. It made me think. Thought-provoking, but trust rebuilt slowly. Marcus remained steadfast, but Evelyn softened, sending care packages. I love you despite. Despite what? My essence? Liliana pondered. Society's mirror reflected change. Legislation passed favoring LGBTQ plus rights. Protests turning tides. Liliana advocated, her voice amplified. But personal costs tallied. Lost friends, strained career, emotional toll. Was it worth it? A reunion attempt at neutral ground, a park picnic. Tensions high, conversations stilted. We want you back but without her, Marcus said. Liliana refused. She's part of me. Stalemate yet seeds planted. Arabella's own awakening. I've been selfish, pushing you. They therapized together, unpacking traumas. Decisions crystallized. Stay in Chicago, fight for acceptance. Liliana's promotion came, affirming her worth. Family interactions evolved. Evelyn visited alone, awkward but genuine. Tell me about her, she asked. Stories shared, walls crumbling. The story's zenith. A fire anniversary vigil. Liliana spoke publicly, family attending. That fire burned away illusions. Love isn't conditional. Applause. Then Marcus approached. I'm trying. Tears flowed, tentative hugs. Not full acceptance but progress. Arabella by her side, they walked away hopeful. Yet wounds lingered. Reflections haunted. Did I cause unnecessary pain? Or force necessary change? The journey's end posed a quandary. Was sacrificing family ties for personal truth a heroic act of self-liberation? Or a selfish betrayal of those who raised her?